Welcome to this new video on Gran Turismo 7, where I'm going to share with you a list of about 10 cars that are either the fastest in the game or the best in their category, or extremely useful cars that will allow you, for example, to farm money very efficiently in the game. In short, a list of cars you absolutely need to own in the game, which will help you get through the most complicated situations and progress smoothly in the game, whether it's in career mode or multiplayer mode. The first car I want to mention is the 2021 Aston Martin Valkyrie. It's very expensive, costing 4 million credits at the dealership. However, it's the most overpowered road car in the game. It's not necessarily the fastest in a straight line, but let's just say it has excellent acceleration, an excellent top speed, and absolutely incredible handling. This car is very fast, but if I'm telling you about it, it's for a particular reason. And that reason is that since this car is a road car, you can use it almost every week in 1 or 2 events, weekly challenges, and finish these events in just a few minutes and collect the reward that comes with it, which is often quite interesting. It's usually at least 100,000 credits plus event credits. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. To illustrate my point for you, I started the first weekly event with my Valkyrie. I'm up against cars that are really old cars, super easy to beat. We're finishing the circuit in 3 minutes, but we did it in 2 minutes 36. So we did a few kilometers that will count toward the driving marathon, which will give us daily rewards. We earned 25,000 credits plus 100,000 credits for completing the weekly challenge, a $100,000 bonus for a 236 event. Unbeatable in the game. So it's a car that you'll be able to make profitable quickly thanks to this system. And on top of that, it's literally the fastest road car. So if you have events to complete where there are no restrictions, or the only restriction is road car or 900 pp, at the very least, it's a monstrous, unbeatable car. Now, I'll discuss a special car category in the game with its own championship, key cars. There are several events that are often restricted to a maximum of 400 pp, 400 performance points, and it's a category that can be quite challenging, especially some of the so-called endurance events, which is why I recommend investing in this category. In the Honda Beat BEAT that you found right here, it's a car that you can buy as a used car. It costs 15,000 credits, and it's a car that you can swap. And what's quite interesting is that this swap, if combined with comfort tires that have really minimized grip, you can get a car that will have a lot of power, a very, very low weight, and a performance point rating under 400 pp. And that's exactly the case we have here. We're on hard comfort tires. We have 387 pp. I have a car with over 560 horsepower, while most kit cars typically have 400 HP. We have cars with 110 to 150 horsepower at most. Indeed, it might not be super easy to handle, but it will have so much more acceleration compared to the other kit cars, which are limited to 3 times less power, that you should normally win your events quite easily. And on top of that, it's a car that has another special feature that we'll talk about a bit later in this video, because you'll also be able to use it to farm money. Now I'm going to introduce you to the fastest road car in the game in a straight line. It's the Chevrolet Corvette C6 ZR1. It's a car that you can buy at the new car dealership, but also at the used car dealership. So I think new, it's worth 120,000 and used, 105,000. And it's a car on which you'll be able to install a swapped engine, the W16 8-liter engine from Bugatti. Now, that's a very expensive swap. You need to count, if I'm not mistaken, 1,600,000 plus car upgrades. So basically, we're looking at a very high price, probably more than 2,500 including the purchase. The car, on the other hand, with this engine, this car is capable of reaching almost 580 kilometers per hour. It depends on the updates and the game's physics. There was a season when you could even reach 600 with this one, but now it's been patched. We reach 560 with nitro here, both with and without slipstream, as shown in several videos. It's a car that reaches 580, and that simply makes this car the fastest road car in the game. It's great in a straight line but struggles in corners. If you want a straight line road monster, this is the one to choose. Gran Turismo 7 includes rally and snow racing, but the game's physics often aren't suited for them. It creates a terrible driving experience. In the category, let's say off-road racing, so dirt and snow, one car stands out to me above the rest. The Ford Focus GRB I'm showing you here. That doesn't mean Group B. It just refers to what rally cars are called in Gran Turismo 7s. For a reason I don't understand. It's basically the car that's going to get the best times and make it easiest for you to get the top positions. In this game mode, in this type of race, maybe it's because it's a bit shorter, because it handles a little better. You have two ways to get this car. Either by buying it for $350,000 at the new car dealership, or for free, simply by playing through the Gran Turismo career. 7. There is a rally event that will take place on the Alsace circuit, and if you manage to finish in a position better than third, you'll get a Ford Focus Rally Sport rally car for free. So, if you're stuck on a rally race, don't hesitate to take a look at the Focus. It's really the best, by far. Now I'll discuss the Suzuki Rally Sport, the Escudo. Not because it's the very best, but because it's among the top cars in the game. To farm the most profitable events in Gran Turismo, 7. The Suzuki Escudo is the car you'll be able to buy at the legendary car dealership. If I'm correct, it should cost $1,700,000. It's a legendary car in Gran Turismo and all that. But above all, it's the car that gets the best lap times on the 3 most farmed circuits in Gran Turismo 7. Namely, the circuit we're currently doing, the Tokyo Expressway, which has a 600 pp event 5 laps, and is known as one of the most interesting ones to farm. Also in the game, the event on the Sardinia circuit at 800 pp and on Le Mans at 700 pp. This car is a monster on those 3 events, but it's still a pretty unique car to drive. I'm warning you in advance if you've never had the chance to try it in the game. It's a car where all the power, all the engine torque comes in with the turbo. It's a car that excels at high revs, but struggles with acceleration out of corners. That's why you should keep it in the power band and drive at high revs. Otherwise, it's a slug. Once you get used to it, it's a missile and a car that pays for itself after a few hours of gameplay. Speaking of getting your money's worth, now I'm going to tell you about the fastest car in the game. It's a beast. The most overpowered car for both acceleration and top speed. The problem is, this car is useless in the game because it's banned from so many categories. So in the end, apart from having it for speed, it's not very useful. Well, actually, you can use it to farm money, but that's the only activity where it's good. Apart from the maximum velocity where indeed, this car can reach almost 700 km/h with full acceleration, with downforce, and with the overtake gauge. It's a car that reaches 700 and has the game's best handling, with 700 kg for 2,800 horsepower. It's with this car that people set world records, let's say lap times on circuits like the Nürburgring, for example. However, as I was saying, it's a car that's banned from a lot of events. So the only real advantage of this car is to use it for farming, for 2 different things. In Gran Turismo 7, there's a daily workout where you must drive over 42 kilometers each day to get a roulette ticket. 42 km at 600 km/h goes by extremely fast, so clearly, every day, you do your 42 km with a Tomahawk like that at 600 km/h. It only takes a few minutes, it's done, and you get your roulette ticket like that in just a few moments. And there's also another way to use this car to farm money, by using it in a race against the Honda Beat, the yellow key car I showed you earlier. There's a kind of glitched method that lets you farm money with these 2 cars, without even playing the game, really, in autopilot mode. And there you go. The Tomahawk is the car for farming for daily kilometers, the car for farming in autopilot mode, and it's also the fastest car in the game with the best handling. However, as you can imagine, it's banned from so many events that in the end, it's almost useless to have it, except for farming money. It's possible that from time to time you'll come across some races in the game with only Vision Gran Turismo cars. The Vision Gran Turismo cars, it's a bit of a separate category. When this restriction is announced, know that the best Vision Gran Turismo is the Ferrari. You can see the Ferrari Vision Gran Turismo right here. All Vision Gran Turismo cars in the game, unless I'm wrong, cost $1 million. If you have $1 million to spend on a Vision Gran Turismo car, you can buy any, so you might as well get the Ferrari, which already looks great, which isn't necessarily the case for all the Vision Gran Turismo S. But on top of that, it's a combustion engine car, which isn't the case for all Vision Gran Turismo cars. Some of them are electric, and because of their weight, they're not necessarily the easiest to handle. Additionally, this one handles excellently. It brakes, turns, and accelerates very well. It's one of the most powerful VGTs in the game. It has 4-wheel drive, so it's very easy to drive. And on top of that, it has a good top speed. Honestly, it's a beast with few weaknesses. There aren't many Vision Gran Turismo events, but if you get stuck, it's the same situation. Consider giving this a try. I believe it will help you finish your events in first place. Alright, next. What you need to know is that in Gran Turismo 7 there are a lot of events with restricted road cars. At 700 or 800 pp, that will be the sole restriction. And in those cases, for these many events, I strongly and honestly recommend, by far, the Lamborghini Aventador. But you need to choose the Aventador Super Veloce, the 2016 model shown here, not the other Aventador. I think the 2011 Aventador is also in the game, and it's a good car but not as good as the Super Veloce. The Super Veloce we have here is a real monster. You'll see. I bought it at the new car dealership for about 500,000 credits. It's an excellent car, both for the 700 pp events and for the 800 events. This car, at 700 pp, weighs 1,200 kg and has about 600 horsepower with soft sport tires. Honestly, it has no flaws. So, the reason why you should choose this one over the 2011 Aventador is that the 2016 model you see here has more aerodynamic downforce, especially at the rear, and that's very useful for most tracks, since you'll simply be able to go faster through corners. So, this car doesn't have any flaws because, first of all, it's all-wheel drive, so it's super easy to handle. It has 600 horsepower with 700 pp, 800 plus horsepower at 800 pp. Very strong acceleration, excellent top speed, aerodynamic downforce, and braking. For the old race cars, what the game calls neoclassic cars, I recommend the Mercedes Sauber C9. It's a car you can buy at the Legend Cars shop. Well, it's not cheap, but it's still an insanely overpowered car. It costs $3,500,000, it handles like crazy, but it's pretty hard to drive. Sure, at first you have to get used to it, especially if you're like me and play without traction control. It's not the easiest, but overall it's the one that will get the best lap times. On most tracks, especially on the ones where it's needed, lots of downforce and wide corners, and especially in the events of those categories where there are a lot of straight lines, that's where it will completely outpace the competition. I wouldn't really recommend buying this car since there aren't many neoclassical or vintage race car events. But let's imagine you want to complete absolutely all the events in the game. Getting all the gold medals is easier in this category. With the Sauber, it's similar for Group 4. There aren't many in the game, but if you really want to complete it easily, I recommend going with the Ferrari 458 Italia, Group 4, which you can buy at the new car dealership for $350,000. Finally, Group 3. This category has changed a lot in recent years. It's true the R16S dominated the rankings for a long time. That has changed a little, especially with the physics of an LOP that arrived in the game. With the Spec 3 update, the BOP, the performance leveling of Group 3 cars is so extreme that most of the cars are now almost the same in terms of handling. You can't really hope to cheat in quotes or gain an advantage with a car that would benefit from a slightly higher power-to-weight ratio than the others or something like that. It's just not possible. All the cars are really equal in Group 3. There's only one that I would say is a little bit better than the others, and that's really going to make a difference. With one small detail, this is the Group 3 Subaru available at the new car dealership for 350,000 credits. It might be just a little bit better than the others, thanks to the fact that this one, for some reason I can't figure out. That's the only advantage here. It gets just a bit more aerodynamic downforce than the other cars. So technically, yes, it will have a slower top speed. That doesn't matter much since it's rare in these categories to exceed 280 or 300 km/h. Whether it reaches 290 top speed isn't important. On the other hand, it's true that this car, since it has a little bit more downforce than the others, is going to handle a bit better. It will go a few kilometers per hour faster through corners. But overall, Group 3 has really become the ultra-competitive extreme group, where the differences between the cars are really minimal. Here's a list of 10 must-own cars in Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo 7, which will allow you to complete almost all the events in the game quite easily. You can also use these cars in multiplayer. We looked together at the fastest cars in a straight line. We looked at the best in each category. We talked about rally. We talked about the best cars for farming. Usually, you have a thorough guide here. So I hope this little video helped you, and I hope that if it did, you'll think about showing it by leaving a like, subscribing for the next videos, participating in the instant gaming giveaway I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and also by using the link to buy your games cheaper than elsewhere. Remember, you can follow me on Twitch for upcoming streams. My channel link is in the description and pinned comment. Feel free to follow and subscribe to support it. We'll see each other soon with new Gran Turismo 7 or other gameplay videos. Take care, bye!